Hello and welcome to Plant Crafted Pantry. Today we are making cranberry sauce using a recipe from the Ball Blue Book. I'm starting by adding 4 cups of sugar to a large pot on the stove and then adding 4 cups of water and bringing that to a boil over medium-high heat. I'm stirring to get the sugar to dissolve, and then once it comes to a boil, we'll stop stirring and set a timer for 5 minutes. Then we'll add our washed cranberries. I used a 2-pound bag of fresh cranberries, which came out to the 8 cups that the recipe calls for, and we'll let that continue boiling without stirring. You'll start to hear the cranberries pop open, which I found super satisfying as I was editing, and I'm going to post a longer cut of this, which I will link if you are interested. I let this go until I didn't hear any more popping, and then our sauce is done and we'll remove it from the heat and get it in our jars. This recipe calls for pint jars, so I have 6 hot, clean pint jars here, and we'll ladle in our sauce to a 1/2 inch of headspace. I ended up only filling 5 of these jars, which will fill up my canner, so that worked out well. And next I am debubbling and checking the headspace. And then I will wipe all of the rims of the jars with a rag dipped in white vinegar to remove any sticky residue. And then we'll put on some new canning lids and screw on the rings to fingertip tight. And then we'll get these loaded up in the canner. I have a Nesco Smart Pressure Cooker and canner, and I have the canning rack in the bottom as well as some water that I heated up on the brown setting. So here are all of the jars in the canner. I'm going to add a splash of white vinegar to the water, and then we'll close the lid and make sure the dial is set to exhaust. We're water bath canning today, so we'll press the WB steam button and then set our canning time. The base time for this recipe is 15 minutes, and I need to add 10 more for my altitude, so I'm setting 25 minutes and then start. The chasing lines will show up as it heats up, and then once the steam starts coming out in a steady stream, you push start again and it'll start the canning time. So here is the end of the canning time. I let the canner sit for about a 1/2 hour, making sure the steam has stopped releasing. And then I generally open the lid partially and set it back down to release some more steam. And then we'll open it fully, let it sit for a few more minutes with the lid open before taking the jars out and setting them on a dish mat to cool overnight. And here is what the jars look like straight out of the canner. So this is the next morning, and I am removing the rings and testing the seals. I washed these jars to remove any sticky residue, and then I will label them with a Sharpie, and then we'll get these put up on the pantry shelf. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.